Warmly welcoming everyone once again to our Real Insight YouTube channel. The greatest series ever created about a terrifying serial killer is the Korean series called Mouse. So far, I have covered 3 episodes of this series. If you haven't watched the previous episodes yet, I have added a card to the Mouse series playlist. Make sure to watch those episodes first and then join me for this 4th episode. Through the previous episodes, you already know that the real brutal serial killer is Son Yoo-han, and that San Yuin's house basement contained all the collected evidence. Bom E's grandmother saw this, and she took a photo from there before leaving. She tried to tell Baram about it, but before she could, Son Yoo-han appeared and killed Bom E's grandmother. What happened after that? You'll find out through today's 4th episode. So if you haven't subscribed to our Real Insight YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the red button below and subscribe. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon next to it to get notified. Now, let's dive into what happened in the 4th episode of this incredible TV series, Mouse. Right at the beginning of today's episode, we see how the brutal serial killer murdered Bom E's grandmother. The killer stabs her with a knife and then removes a badge from her jacket. This badge was given to Bom E's grandmother when Bom E was still a child. She carried it everywhere she went. Meanwhile, we see the brutal serial killer taking a photo from Bom E's grandmother's hand and burning it. You may remember that Bom E's grandmother had taken that photo from the basement. The photo contained the image of a woman who was killed and left in the vineyard. That is the photo now in the hands of the serial killer. At the same time, you might remember that Chikik, who was found injured, had a severed finger near him. Baram later confirmed that the finger did not belong to Chikik. The question remains, whose finger is it? At this moment, Kumuchi receives a phone call informing him that the serial killer has murdered someone else. That's when Kumuchi realizes that the severed finger found near Chikik actually belonged to this victim. The murdered victim this time is a factory worker. When the police investigate the factory, they discover something in the victim's throat. What exactly is it? You'll find out as you continue watching this series. Now, Bom E's grandmother has been murdered, and the police are informed about it. After that, Kumuchi and Detective Sen go to see Bom E's grandmother's body. But at this point, they still don't know that the victim is actually Bom E's grandmother. While they are on their way, Bom E is sitting near a bridge because it's raining, and she can't cross to the other side. Bom E is already afraid to cross bridges when it rains. So Kumuchi takes Bom E along in his vehicle to where the grandmother's body is. Once they arrive, they finally realize that the serial killer's victim is Bom E's grandmother. At that moment, Kumuchi notices something in Bom E's grandmother's hand. The brutal serial killer had burned the photo that Bom E's grandmother was holding. But before it was completely destroyed, Bom E's grandmother, who was still alive at the time, held onto a small piece of the photo in her hand. Now, Kumuchi finds that small piece of the photo, hoping that this evidence will eventually lead the police to capture the brutal serial killer. At this point, Bom E finally realizes that the murdered victim is her grandmother. Having no mother or father, the only family she had left was her poor grandmother. But now that she is also dead, Bom E cries out in unbearable sorrow. Meanwhile, Kumuchi goes to meet Baram. You may remember that Baram had been following the brutal serial killer, Son Yoo-han. Kumuchi now questions Baram about this. At this moment, Baram reveals that Bom E's grandmother had called him many times, but he couldn't answer any of the calls. After that, Bom E's grandmother had sent him a message, saying that she knew who killed the woman found dead in the vineyard. That's why Baram went to meet Bom E's grandmother. When Baram arrived to see Bom E's grandmother, he witnessed the brutal serial killer fleeing from the scene. And that killer was none other than Son Yoo-han. Baram then chased after Son Yoo-han, leading to a fight between the two. Because of this, Baram now tells Kumuchi that, whoever the killer is, he is left-handed. Not only that, but during their fight, Baram also noticed a mint scent from the killer. However, Barum never actually saw the face of the brutal serial killer. He couldn't confirm if it was Son Yoo-han. These are the only clues Barum can share with Kumuchi at this moment. While Barum is telling all this to Kumuchi, we see that Son Yoo-han is now back home, taking a shower. His entire body is covered in blood. Not only that, Son Yoo-han is left-handed. At this moment, Kim arrives. Kim has prepared food and tells Son Yoo-han, "Son, I have put your clothes in the wash." At this moment, Kim notices bloodstains on Son Yoo-han's clothes. However, Kim assumes that her son is a doctor, a surgeon, so she thinks the blood must have come from an operation. After that, we see Kim driving her car. At this moment, a news broadcast plays on the car radio. The news report states the number of victims that the brutal serial killer has murdered so far, and that another person has been killed today. So after hearing that, Kim fully understands that her son is actually the brutal serial killer who has been murdering people like this. Then we see Son Yoo-han going to the hospital where Barum is staying. Entering inside, at this moment, Son Yoo-han is trying to inject Barum with an injection and kill him. But suddenly, Son Yoo-han hears someone screaming outside Barum's room. That's Bom Ai coming in because now she knows that before her grandmother died, she called Barum multiple times. However, Barum didn't answer any of the calls. Now, Bom Ai is extremely angry at Barum. That's why she came here, full of rage, to confront him. Since Bom Ai suddenly came near the room, Son Yoo-han can't carry out what he planned to do. So after that, Son Yoo-han leaves from there. Meanwhile, on TV news, the case of this brutal serial killer has now gone viral. At this point, the brutal serial killer has killed 6 people within 2 weeks. The news also says that these murders are happening in the exact same way that the headhunter used to kill people 25 years ago. Now, we see that Kumuchi has the half-burnt photo piece that was in Bom Ai's grandmother's hand when she died. At this moment, Kumuchi realizes that the brutal serial killer is not just killing people, he is also taking photos. Because Kumuchi found out that the photo Bom Ai's grandmother was holding is actually a photo of Jomi, the woman who was murdered and left in the vineyard. After that, Kumuchi starts investigating where exactly Bom Ai's grandmother went that day. She had gone to the town, taken a bus, and now Kumuchi checks the CCTV footage of every place she visited. Through this search, Kumuchi finds out about the servant agency where Bom Ai's grandmother had gone. But when Kumuchi goes there and questions them, the woman who was there on that day is absent. Instead, there is another man there now. Because of this, at this moment, Kumuchi can't confirm if Bom Ai's grandmother really came here. Later, Kumuchi finds CCTV footage of Bom Ai's grandmother getting off a bus at another location. After that, Kumuchi starts walking around, investigating where exactly Bom Ai's grandmother went. At this moment, Kumuchi ends up right near Son Yoo-han's house. However, Kumuchi doesn't know that this is Son Yoo-han's house. Before he can investigate further, Kumuchi receives a phone call. After that, Kumuchi leaves from there. Then after that, we see Barum and Bom Ai going to perform Bom Ai's grandmother's final rites. Now, Bom Ai has no one left in her family. From now on, she has to depend on Barum. After that, Barum takes Bom Ai and goes to Bom Ai's house. When they get there, Bom Ai sees that some of the food her grandmother prepared is still left. Now, at this moment, we are shown another incident. This takes place at a children's park. There, a boy named Hankook is with his mother. Hankook's father had left him. Now, a TV program is being recorded, and that's why Hankook and his mother have come here. Previously, this TV program had aired an episode where Hankook spoke about how his father left him, but he said that he doesn't have any hatred towards his father. At this moment, Hankook tells his mother to bring him some food. After his mother leaves, Hankook sees that there is food along a path nearby. Then, Hankook follows behind food. However, when his mother comes back later, she realizes that her child is missing. After that, the police start an investigation to find Hankook. Meanwhile, do you all remember that day Kumuchi went and questioned Son-Yuhan? At that time, Son-Yuhan said that on the day Professor Lee went missing, he was at home with a friend. Kumuchi took details about this friend. Now, Detective Sen goes to investigate this friend. When Detective Sen goes there, this friend calls Son-Yuhan and tells him that the police are coming to question him now. After that, Son-Yuhan tells this friend to give the exact same answer he had said before to the police. Now, at this moment, Kumuchi goes and gives the media an update on the situation. At this point, Kumuchi says that even though this murderer has killed 6 people, there is no connection between them. But at that moment, Kumuchi realizes something. Even though there is no connection between the 6 people who were killed, the serial killer must have some reason for selecting his victims. While thinking about this, Kumuchi wonders if the serial killer is using a specific reason to choose his victims before killing them. At the same time, Kumuchi receives a message on his phone that says bingo. Then Kumuchi gets a call from an unknown number, but it's not from just anyone, it's from the brutal serial killer. At this moment, the serial killer tells Kumuchi, "That missing boy, Hankook, is with me. Hankook is about to die now. If you can, find out why I kidnapped him and why I am going to kill him. Not only that, you must also find out why I killed the previous 6 victims. After that, you have to join a TV program and do a live broadcast about everything." Then Kumuchi goes and tells his higher authorities about this. However, these authorities are unwilling to do a live program as the serial killer demands. But at this moment, Kumuchi begins to explain. He says that, just like the brutal serial killer says, it is better to do the live program now. And the person conducting this program is none other than Choi. You all must remember Choi works on TV programs. Not only that, but there are also only 4 days left before this program starts. Now, you must have realized that within these 4 days, Kumuchi must somehow find out the real reason why this brutal serial killer chooses victims this way. Meanwhile, we are shown something else. You all must remember Detective Park's daughter was kidnapped by Headhunter. Until now, Detective Park has not been able to find his daughter. At this moment, Detective Park comes to Kumuchi and tells him, "No matter who this brutal serial killer is, do not do the program." Why? Because Detective Park used to work on the Headhunter case back in the day. That's why Detective Park knows very well how dangerous brutal serial killers can be. However, at this moment, Kumuchi says, "We cannot cancel the program, we must do it. Otherwise, that little child's life will be in danger." Then we are shown Son-Yuhan going to the ward where Barum is staying. But when he gets there, he finds out that Barum has already been discharged. Later we see, just like the brutal serial killer said, the police are now afraid to do this program because it's going to be live, and if something goes wrong during the program and the serial killer kills the child, then the police will have to take responsibility. That's why the police are now seriously thinking about whether they should do this program or not. At this moment, Hankook's mother comes to Kumuchi and tells him, "If you don't do this program exactly as the serial killer says, my child's life will be in danger." Because of that, the team finally decides that they must go ahead with the program. After that, Kumuchi, Barum, Choi, and another team start investigating whether there is a specific reason behind the way this brutal serial killer chooses his victims. So in the meantime, you remember the factory worker who was killed and his severed finger was found near the Chikook. And do you all remember that the police had found something inside the corpse's mouth? Now at this moment, the police inform Kumuchi that what they found inside the mouth is a rare type of insect. So while this group was carrying out investigative activities, Hyumuki's elder brother arrives here. "This food is with my younger brother as well. You all can share and eat it too. My younger brother is very angry with me right now, but in my heart, I have no anger towards him at all." Meanwhile, on the other side, Son Yoo-han is shown looking for Baram, because now Son Yoo-han is trying to kill Baram. So far, this ruthless serial killer has already murdered 5 people. After 25 years since the headhunter case, this vicious serial killer has started killing people in this manner again. From the beginning, let me remind you all of the people this killer has murdered. First, he killed a gym coach named Moojin. Then, he killed a worker from a bar called Chamzoni. After that, he attempted to kill Chi-kuk, but he failed. Next, he murdered a 50-year-old homeless man. Then, the killer murdered a temporary factory worker, the man in whose a rare insect was found inside the mouth. Also, let's not forget the young woman killed in the vineyard. Her name was Jom, a university student who ran a YouTube channel focused on food programs. Now, at this moment, a little boy named Hankook is missing. That boy is with the ruthless serial killer. So now you understand that this serial killer has targeted 7 people in total, but so far, only 5 of them have died. Chi-kuk is still alive, Hankook is still missing. Meanwhile, the police receive information about another murder. Detective Singh goes to investigate, and when he arrives, he sees that the one who has been killed in this brutal manner is none other than Son Yoo-han's friend. You remember, the friend who gave Kumuchi the name and address to confirm that Son Yoo-han was at home. Detective Singh believes that he was killed in this way. Then after that, we are shown that the TV program is starting. Kumuchi is here, having gathered all the details. Now, this program is hosted by Choi. At this moment, Choi asks Kumuchi, "Do you now know why this ruthless serial killer chose and murdered these people?" In addition, Choi also asks, "Do you now have the ability to save the innocent child?" After that, through this program, Kumuchi directly speaks to the ruthless serial killer. Now, Son Yoo-han is watching this program. At this moment, Kumuchi speaks directly and says, "I know that you are watching this program right now. But for this to be fair, we need proof that Hankook is still alive." After hearing that, Son Yoo-han gets up and leaves. And that is how episode 4 of this amazing series, Mouse 4th episode ends. The next episode is going to be very important. From that episode, you will get to know, will this program continue as the ruthless serial killer planned? What exactly will Kumuchi do inside this program to save Hankook's life? So once again, if you haven't subscribed to our Real Inside YouTube channel yet, don't forget to press the red subscribe button. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon as well. Alright then, we will meet again soon in episode 5 of this amazing TV series.